Hey everybody, welcome to Vicious RV. My name is Josh the RV Nerd, and behind us, this is an awesome, perfect example of what I call a flat deck fifth wheel. And whether we call it Rockwood or Flagstaff, I call this thing awesome. And the thing is, they broke so many of their normal rules, making this floor plan. It almost looks weird to look at a Rockstaff and not see that signature series front windshield that they've been doing for ages. But it doesn't have it there because this RV has a full bed slide, a king bed slide potentially, king or queen actually, with stackable washer dryer prep in that front closet. And the only thing a windshield would be good for, as you know, of course, is looking at Uncle Gary's sundresses. So this is what Flagstaff calls a classic. It's what Rockwood calls a signature. But what this is their biggest, highest end series of travel trailers with more features and more space than anything else they make. Right away we got that big triple slide, huge opposing slide living space. But one of the things that's really awesome on this one is they give us a fantastic rear kitchen with no island, which makes the whole RV look and feel so much bigger. And they've given us a theater seat straight across from the entertainment center, a hide-a-bed for guests, and a dinette. You've got all of the seating you could really want in this thing. There's also option for table and chairs if that's what you'd prefer. They are carpetless as they were last year. They've got a slightly better solar package than they did before. They're updating their entertainment centers in these. They're doing so many things really good and really well. I'm also really curious though, what do you think about the updated exterior on this? It's almost got a little bit of that Fleetwood Mallard classic green stripe in it. And I'm kind of digging it. Maybe because when I was a kid, when I was camping, that color palette was sort of what's out there. It's sort of like, the music that you listen to in high school is the best music that was ever created ever in the history of ever, right? That's sort of the feels that I get from this one. But it's interesting because the outside's a little more plain, a little understated. It's not just slathered in a Nike Adidas. Yeah, a Dikey swooshes. Anyway, I'm going to get going here. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you dislike. And if you appreciate how we show you the good with the bad, because it has a little bit of both, hit that subscribe button. Let's get rocking. And by the way, they're double Azdel now, baby. And as soon as you step inside one of these things, it just feels big and open and grand. And it feels that way for several very legit reasons. Now, one of those is that we're looking at a lighter color palette. They do also offer a darker brown decor, if this ain't quite your preference. But a couple things here. We've got light colors. You see that we are now carpetless, which just organically also makes the RV look good, but it's not just visual optic gimmicks. The RV is physically bigger. We have opposing slides with no island, which just gives you this huge sense of space. And some RVs might be a little taller because they have 6'9" walls. Some RVs might be a little bit taller because they have a vaulted ceiling. And then there's these guys that do and instead of or, with huge headroom in here. And it's if you're gonna get a house, would you rather have a house with 7-foot ceilings or 8-foot ceilings? Most of the time, you're gonna make it rain on the 8-foot ceilings because it just looks and feels bigger. And notice, they're both carpetless, no toe stubber slides. Ventless flooring for easy cleaning. Solid surface countertops. They're doing a lot of wicked good things here, man. Looking around, they've kind of given us both campsite windows as well as campsite entertainment. So you actually have some serious window coverage, including the entry door over here, which does have a privacy shade. And I'm sitting at the left-hand theater seat right now. Basically the closest over here to the side of it, just to kind of put you in the driver's seat and to give you the perspective of actual, sitting in it, trying it on for size best I can. Got that electric space heating fireplace, but we also have holding tank heaters, which is great, and a just big old giant Insignia TV straight across from us over here. And it's not mounted up, it's all the way to the ceiling like a lot of brands are doing. Rockwood's one of those brands that realizes that not everyone is Jeffrey the giraffe from Toys R Us, who's, I tell you what, Jeffrey's out of work. He's fallen on some hard times. That guy has had to do some questionable things for money. Moment of silence for Jeffrey the giraffe. And enough of that. Moving on. What do we got here? We have an awesome rear kitchen with great prep space. That is a larger microwave, by the way, 1.3 cubic foot as opposed to 0.9, and a larger oven down below that. But I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. I actually want to start cracking open all the storage over here to see what's behind the entertainment center. I love that Legend of Zelda sound. Notice we got a little kind of storage shelf in there. That's all above the camp kitchen. We have both day and night shades. That with the dinette, you have a free floating table and storage below it. It's a bonus sleeper. But remember, you can get a table and chairs with this if you are so inclined. And those pop-up power towers you see in the kitchen right there, I like that they put the outlets down where you can actually reach them instead of up so high that appliance cords can't reach. But the top of those, if you recess those things, they're also wireless charge pads, which is cool. And one of the differences here, like this floor plan is very similar to what Rockwood calls a 2720 IK. This is that floor plan on steroids, basically, because what we're getting is like, you see that big residential refrigerator. There is also an option for a gas electric two-way fridge. So I would like your input. Which refrigerator would you prefer? And I'm going to also throw a little wrinkle in this because my personal preference is something they don't actually offer right now. I would really like to see this RV offered with one of those big like 15 or 16 cubic foot 12 volt DC compressor fridges. How would you like something like that? Or would you rather just have the residential or the two-way? You know, let me know. Would you like the light decor, the brown decor, the booth, or the table? How would you want one of these things decked out? Now we're standing over here at like our master control panel, which, you know, just has physical buttons, which is nice, although you could Bluetooth to it and do all that stuff off your phone. That's your charge controller, by the way, for the solar panel. You can also monitor that from your phone, or not. I can't tell you what to do. You're an adult. Probably. I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to get into the road mode real quick. Now, when you first look at this, yeah, the slide comes right up next to that sofa. But the thing is, this isn't the worst travel access I've ever seen in a triple slide travel trailer. Now, we're up here by the control panel and the charge controller and thermostat and all that. I'm breaking normal rank and we're looking at road mode right now. It just felt right. When you look at this thing, at first it looks like, oh, yeah, it kind of sucks. And it's not flawless. It's not without its hiccups, don't get me wrong. But if you're fairly long-legged, one of the cool things on this one is because it has no island, you can actually step over the sofa and never actually walk on any slide floor. And you can basically do a Simone Biles balance beam act and get back here to the refrigerator and to the pantry, not to the sink. But if you do need to make a quick travel stop, you can tiptoe your way in here, grab a bite to eat, then maybe like borrow a picnic table at a rest stop or something like that along the way. But the thing is, you don't have to Indiana Jones crawl your way through this thing. There's actually a second refrigerator on this. What's going on? Refrigerator on this RV outside the RV that can also operate in transit. So you don't have to do it. You just can if you really need to. And as well and good as all that is, we're about to see two things with the bathroom rapid fire that I think might be deal breakers. I love the living room. The bedroom is awesome. The bathroom doesn't bother me, but I know from enough comments, there's two things rapid fire here I'm going to show you that people are immediately going to tune out on. It's a dual entry bathroom. A lot of people prefer a single door. I don't mind the dual door. It's also a radius shower as compared to like a rectangular shower, and I know a lot of people prefer that rectangular. One of the good things, though, is it is nice and tall. And what I would ask you here is if you're like, hey, listen, you had me right until there, go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know that. Let me know that this is a deal breaker, or let me know if this is not a problem. No big deal. I don't mind. All I would ask is if you hang tight, continue to watch the rest of the video and just kind of share your thoughts and your insights on this one. We've got a porcelain foot flush stool. I'm trying to go slow since I'm pointing almost straight down, not to make you motion sick. It looks like, you know, we're flying with Maverick and we're about to take a highway to the danger zone. Now that lower door, you notice how there's a little hinge on the side with the handle? It's not an accident. That's an access panel for like winterizing stuff. The chunk of it up here, now that is storage space. And as you saw, we do have ourselves one of those extra large vent fans, standard issue on one of these, which is actually very, very nice. Now in the bedroom, that taller ceiling feels huge. And you can get these with one air, you can get them with two air. You cannot get them with red airs or blue airs, Sam I am. So kind of keep that in mind a little bit. I'm getting the bathroom door out of my way. Pardon me as I sort of do the backwards travel trailer two-step on this thing. We have ourselves either a king or queen bed in a big, deep bed slide. We're looking at the king bed today. But notice the little detail treatments. Like both sides of the bed actually still have mini phone shelves with some household outlets. But I didn't say USB. Both of those household outlets, by the way, wired to the inverter standard on this RV. The USB plugs are actually mounted in those lights above the bed and some storage above the bed and an extra little phone shelf with a handy dandy little power cord feeder slot down there. You see that little notch so you can actually run your power cord down. Little smart details like that. That's where the devil is. The devil's in the details. Speaking of which, let's look at some details under the bed where you see that full big storage. And one of the cool things here, anything that where they have to like screw into the structure or the aluminum framework, they'll actually stuff it with wood so it doesn't crimp and crush. I've seen so many brands that want to act like and talk like they're the first and the only ones to do that. This group has been doing it like since longer than many RV manufacturers today have even been in existence. Doesn't mean they're doing it better. Just means they're also doing it, which is very cool. I like the double window right there too. Really, I tell you, if you added a TV to this, it'd frame it up very nicely. And it's so weird, so foreign to me. Once again, did not see that front windshield on this, but let me ask you, you know, windshields I think look cool, but I think windshields most of the time in the RV industry don't serve a massive purpose. I think most of the time they're buried either behind a Murphy bed or they're put in like a private front bedroom where you really can't see them anyway. So I don't know what good they do. And they're frankly like an insulation nightmare. They're like an R0.7. They're just a giant thermal hole in the wall. So there are some times that, I don't know, I kind of like the idea of not having a windshield. Like Grand Design doesn't do a lot of them, especially in their travel trailers. What's your take? Windshield or no windshield? And in the meantime, I'm going to crack open some outside storage here. And I think it's really critical to check this space out because with that stackable washer dryer space, they don't have a traditional full front pass-through. That's one of the things here. I call it a flat deck fifth wheel, but it's not a fifth wheel. It does not have that big front storage cavity, that inverter that we've talked about a little bit hanging over there on the left-hand side. Now, you've also got some storage space, as you see over here, under the bed area. Now, you can lift up the bed and get to this as we saw inside, but you can also fully access everything outside. And just like the dinette, the bed base here, anything that is load-bearing, anything that they build in-house will have a welded aluminum cage. It's just a very cool thing that Rockstaff does, or again, Flagwood, as you please. Now, getting down low here, watching my knees lock and pop like a hip-hop dancer. Enclosed underbelly, radiant barrier through the belly and up the nose, and they've had 12-volt thermostatic tank heaters on these, I think longer than anybody else right now. Back up front here, you do still have a choice between like a champagne or a white and graphite kind of exterior look right here. 30-pound propane tanks instead of 20s. And we're looking at the standard landing gear on these power jacks with a smart jack on the tongue. Basically, it can remember the hitch height. So when you get unhitched from it, it will remember how tall your vehicle was. So when you go to get hitched back up, you just basically push the button and you just go back to getting hitched up real easy. Pushing buttons and getting hitched up reminds me of, well, how I met my wife. Regardless, moving on here, there is also an auto leveling option. Notice we have the dual power awnings on this thing, and that front one is extra large. And on the classic or signature series, you're also getting aluminum shielded awnings, and that's on both of those. So when if the RV's in storage for a while, when the sun's beating on that awning fabric, it won't tend to wear out the base of it. Ironically, most awnings that are replaced awning fabrics, most of the awning's in good condition. It's really the bottom of the awning that kind of gets weather shredded first, you know. Quick little note, just to let you know, there is a portable side kind of prep plug here for some loose solar, as it were, if you're parked in the shade, but there is always at least 200 watts now of factory solar on top. You see over here, we got our handy little griddle station with the little work table next to it. Outside TV hookups just above that. Frameless windows standard on these, by the way. That is an no, I'm sorry, hold on. Is that an anti-slam door? I got myself all screwed up now. Yes, not only is it anti-slam, it also has a little holdback clip you might see hanging down from the bottom there. So there's just like really not a whole lot of chance of this thing banging around. And as you can see, like a big fifth wheel, we've got ourselves the zero gravity steps. Goodyear Endurance radials with factory standard TPMS. So those are American made and giving you, some great peace of mind when you are going down the road. And this rides on a different type of suspension. A lot of RVs have torsion axles. This also has a torsion suspension. It's not a leaf spring system. I personally think it's one of the best systems out there for, going down the road, long distance highway kind of use. Now, an important thing to remember, that refrigerator is wired to the inverter. Pardon the background noise. I am right up next to the road here, and there's some industrial stuff nearby, so some big rigs kind of cruising through. But that fridge will run when you're going down the road. Most outside refrigerators do not do that. We are also getting a noisy visit from our handy dandy grounds crew. I'm not complaining though. They're just out here doing their job, and God love them for it. They're helping keep the place look nice. On the back here, we have both a bumper and a receiver hitch, which is kind of nice, and a 250-pound rated ladder to get us up to that laminated, fully walkable roof. While we're up there, let's take a look around. Base 200-watt solar package displayed today. You could add an extra 200-watt panel from the factory. We could add it here, and I believe their charge controller could actually handle up to 3 of those if you were so inclined. So you could throw about 600 watts of solar. You have a 1,000-watt inverter standard on this. You could always upgrade the inverter a little bit if you needed something to pull a little more juice. Kind of whatever works for you. One other quick little note for you here before we wrap up. Actually, oh my gosh, no, there's a big update I forgot to talk about. Don't tune out just yet. In case you're wondering what this door is, that is a service door to get to the back of that refrigerator. And I can't believe I almost forgot to, actually I can, because I am that kind of stupid. I'm a special kind of stupid sometimes. These are now double Azdel sidewalls. So your laminated sidewalls, no longer using any sort of wood paneling. There's a lot of different benefits to this. It's a little bit better in terms of thermal values. It's a little bit better in terms of noise reduction, just for a more enjoyable camping experience. Not massive in that regard though. But one of the big peace of mind factors I think a lot of people are going to like, let's say, God forbid, you do have a leak, or the fancy talk for that is water penetration. If you do have a leak, it's not that the wall can't decay and delaminate, it's that it's a lot harder for that process to take place because the Azdel itself is waterproof as compared to Luan wood paneling, which can get soft and rot out and decay. So just another little thing where they're just cranking it up. And special thanks today to our amazing groundskeeping crew over here. Give the crowd a wave. Now, is it cool if I put you on camera?
That's fine.
Okay, I just want to make sure I don't need you to sign a modeling waiver or nothing.
No.
Okay, very cool. Real people doing real work around here. Anyway, let me know what you like about this one, what you dislike. Again, it's available in Rockwood and Flagstaff. They each have different model numbers, but it's the exact same RV, made by the same people in the same places, just different stickers on the front. It is still throwing me the fact that it doesn't have a windshield on the front. I think she's trying to mow the lawn. I'm gonna shut up because I do tend to talk a long time, as my wife will confirm. So when you're ready, we're ready. Take care, stay safe, have fun. Happy camping, everyone. Let her rip!